The Chicago Bulls take another terrible loss to the Philadelphia 76ers at home, 109-97. We're going to be looking at the key takeaways from tonight's loss. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today, the Chicago Bulls fall to the Philadelphia 76ers at home, 109-97. And I think initially the key thoughts out of this is just that the Chicago Bulls turned the basketball over at a high clip. They turned the basketball over 20 times. And once again, we see our opponent take advantage of it. And that's exactly what the 76ers did. And then on top of that, this was a very disappointing loss because the 76ers were coming into this game. They didn't have Embiid. They didn't have Drummond. They lost Paul George during this game. And they were still able to outscore the Chicago Bulls inside in the paint. And on the flip side of this, we knew that Vooch was probably going to have that advantage, and we have talked about how he had really struggled against the Golden State Warriors in the last game and not getting the touches. In tonight's game, he only got 12 shots up, and so very disappointing for the Chicago Bulls not to take advantage of the clear size advantage that they had in this game. And so let's go ahead and jump over into the box score and look at the key takeaways from this. And so starting with the MVPs out there, and I know that really this was a struggle for, I think, everybody across the board today. But, starting with Zach LaVine and Vooch, I think that they were definitely players that certainly lead the way for us. With Zach LaVine, he had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He was -5. He was 10 of 20 from the field. I think that maybe the key takeaway here is that he really had a tough fourth quarter. But again, he did lead us as far as going out there and getting, points. And so next up with Vooch, he was second there. Vooch, I just talked about the fact that he only got 12 shots. He was 8 of 12 from the field. He had 22 points. He also had 4 assists, a steal. He had 3 blocks in this one. And so, look, he did everything he could do. -9. I thought that the Bulls should have definitely made an effort to get him the basketball down in the paint and let him go to work and us really operate off of that. So that was supremely disappointing. Next up, I've got to give credit to Zoe. I think that Zoe did a terrific job as far as stepping in and starting for Kobe White again. I think that his jump shot continues to get a bit better. I talked about this in the last game. I think that he's still working his way back from the wrist injury. And so it was good to see that. And you could just see, Lonzo Ball and his impact on the floor, whether it's defensively or offensively. He really helps this team. He really helps settle it. And so, unfortunately, we turned the basketball over at a high clip, but I think still Zoe is a great impact for this team. And then next up with Josh Giddey. And so Josh Giddey, look, I know when you look at the game, it wasn't, pretty how it got done, but he still stacked up the stats in the box score here. He had the 10 points, 10 rebounds. He had the 7 assists. He was -7 today. But still, he did do a great job as far as getting to the rebounds and things like that. He did put up some points, still got some assists as well. And he actually had some pretty good ones, too. There was one, a couple lobs or whatever the case may be to Zach LaVine. That was nice. And so, anyway, good job by him by putting up the stats. And so, next up, just going into just really, I think, the unfortunate for the Chicago Bulls. And let's start with Patrick Williams. I think that this was just bad to see because with Patrick Williams, look, he threw up an air ball in this game. He's throwing up missed layups that were missing very badly. He only had 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He was -12. He had a really bad turnover, 1 on 3. Some of the stuff that continues to get talked about with Patrick Williams, whether it is blowing kind of easy bunnies or layups or dunks or whatever the case may be, and then dribbling off the foot or, just bad things for Patrick Williams as far as the way that the games have been played lately. And I just think that at some point, Billy Donovan is talking about players having to earn minutes. At what point in time do players get a chance to get out there and start? And I'm not saying that they really are going to be able to maybe handle defensively what is going to come at them, but still, you've got to see what you have in Jalen Smith and then also to Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, Modest Buzelis. I think other players have definitely are going to need to play out there. And so, I think that that's for sure something that is a key takeaway out of this game, that Billy Donovan has to make some adjustments. When it comes down to the bench, look, I think that Jalen Smith did a great job as far as coming into the game, knocking down shots. I think that he was pretty assertive early on. He was 3 of 4 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, so that was good to see. He also had 6 rebounds in this one. He was -10, but still like the things that I'm seeing with Jalen Smith off of the bench. With Buzelis, look, he had 6 points, 3 rebounds. He was +5 in 12 minutes, 2 of 2 from the field, but he only played in 12 minutes, and he still almost had a rebound to tie what Patrick Williams did, and he outscored Patrick Williams, and he only played 12 minutes. And then with Ayo, I think that Ayo, look, he's still working his way back from the calf. He had 8 points today, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. And, I mean, he still led us off of the bench, but I think that he's still working his way back from the calf. Hasn't really necessarily been getting downhill, which you would like to see. But he did knock down some shots in that Golden State Warriors game. He did, get some scores here in this game, so hopefully he can start to get back into rhythm out there. But no doubt about it, this was a tough one. It's definitely one of those ones where you wonder, again, you have got to say to yourself, like, at what point in time do you prioritize, the youth movement, getting player development over just winning basketball games? I think that is something that certainly, again, we saw in this game, where you just need to go to the bench, especially if you're not getting it from your starters out there. Maybe that could have changed the way that this game was played. Maybe we could have got some spark and energy there, but we will never know, because I think we're not utilizing our bench properly. And so next up, let's go ahead and jump into some of the team box scores and the key takeaways out of that. And so the Chicago Bulls did out-rebound the Sixers 54-40, so that was a good thing that they did hit the boards. Again, I talked about the turnovers, 20-10. Sixers take advantage of that. The Sixers lead in the fast break category, 12-11. And then, again, the Sixers beat up the Bulls in the paint, 54-44. Tough to see, especially with the Sixers being undersized. 10-6, Sixers lead in steals, 4-3, Sixers in blocks. The Bulls only had 24 assists in this, only shot 42.4%, and only shot 31.6 from 3. The Sixers didn't shoot that much better as far as from the three-point line at only 28.9, but they did a better job as far as getting their field goal percentage there at 45.7. Shout out to, I guess, Tyrese Maxey. He was able to hit some tough shots for him, but still, this is a very disappointing loss for the Chicago Bulls because, like I said, I mean, there's several players that I think, definitely should have got some minutes in today's game. And we didn't see that. And then we continue to see with Buzelis showing some signs, and then he's just not getting, I think, enough playing time. And so, how can you really be trying to build with your younger players and you're not really giving them the chance and you're not evaluating them? I think that is just really the key takeaway. Another disappointing game and not getting down into Vooch. And so let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about this tough loss here as the Chicago Bulls have dropped 8 of their last 9. They've continued to lose, I think, to some very winnable opponents. They've lost to the Pelicans, Hawks, Trailblazers, somehow beat the Clippers, lost to the Warriors, and then now lose to the Sixers, who just do not have their star players, and then lose a star player in the middle of the game. So let me know what your thoughts are. Just want to thank everybody out there for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, as it means a lot as we try to reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA season out there. Just want to let you know about 66.8% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure that you go ahead and slam dunk on that subscribe button. So look, even though this is yet again a tough loss for the Chicago Bulls, and I continue to say you've got to have a plan. You need to prioritize just the youth movement, development, and things like that over just winning basketball games. Anyhow, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Go Bulls, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.